Imagine holding in your hand a simple copper-colored penny from 1981, a coin that to most people might seem like just an ordinary piece of change, something you might not even bother picking up if you saw it lying on the street, yet hidden within these small coins lies a story of history, design, minting changes, and an astonishing collector value that has skyrocketed in recent years, with some examples rumored in the coin collecting world to be worth more than $111 million in today's market, making the 1981 Lincoln Liberty penny one of the most fascinating treasures in American numismatics. The 1981 Lincoln cent holds a special place in history because it was the very last full year in which the coin was minted entirely in a copper composition before the United States Mint made a significant change in 1982, switching to copper-plated zinc. Since 1909, when Victor David Brenner's famous portrait of President Abraham Lincoln was first introduced to mark the centennial of Lincoln's birth, this coin has captured the imagination of Americans and collectors worldwide. For over 70 years, the Lincoln penny was minted primarily in bronze or copper alloy, but by the late 1970s, the rising cost of copper made it more expensive to produce a 1-cent coin than the face value itself. Thus, the 1981 penny became the final farewell to the classic all-copper cents, and this fact alone makes it extremely important in the history of U.S. coinage. When you look closely at a 1981 penny, you'll notice the beautiful details in Brenner's design. On the obverse, the front side, is the familiar bust of Abraham Lincoln, facing right, with his sharp facial features, the bow tie, and the famous words "In God We Trust" stretching above his head. To the left of Lincoln is the word Liberty, and to the right, the date 1981 with the mint mark below it, such as D for Denver or S for San Francisco, while Philadelphia mint coins carry no mark at all. On the reverse side is the majestic Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo, with the words United States of America above and 1 cent below, while the national motto E Pluribus Unum stretches across the top of the memorial. If you look closely with a magnifying glass, you can even see the tiny seated statue of Abraham Lincoln inside the memorial, a subtle tribute to the great president whose likeness graces the coin. The 1981 Lincoln cent was struck in very high numbers, with billions of coins minted, but not all coins are created equal. Some examples struck at the Denver Mint and Philadelphia Mint came out with sharp details and beautiful luster, while others were weakly struck, off-centered, or contained minting errors. These errors, combined with pristine condition, are what drive the astronomical values in today's market. Collectors hunt for pennies with double die obverse errors, repunched mint marks, off-metal strikes, and even rare transitional pieces that were struck in experimental planchets during the changeover years. A single coin with such a rare combination of qualities can easily fetch incredible prices at auction, with record sales reaching into the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and in some mysterious cases, even rumored to cross into the multi-million-dollar range. One of the reasons why the 1981 penny is so captivating is because it sits right at the crossroads of U.S. monetary history. By the following year in 1982, the mint was forced to adopt the copper-plated zinc planchets, which completely changed the feel, sound, and durability of the coin. The 1981 penny thus represents the end of an era, the last of the true copper cents, which makes it much more appealing for investors and serious collectors. Imagine the significance of owning one of the final pure copper coins struck before a historic transformation, a coin that carries with it not only the image of Lincoln but also the weight of America's economic decisions. But it isn't just history that makes these coins special, it's the potential value. The market for rare U.S. coins has been surging in recent years, with record-breaking auctions around the world. Stories circulate in collector communities of rare 1981 Liberty Lincoln pennies changing hands for amounts as high as $111 million, with the right combination of mint error, grade, rarity, and collector demand fueling these astronomical prices. While not every penny from 1981 is going to make you rich, the reality is that some extraordinary examples exist that are considered priceless national treasures. So what should you look for if you have a 1981 penny in your pocket or collection? First, check the mint mark. Coins from Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco were all struck, and proof coins from San Francisco are particularly desirable. Next, look at the condition. A circulated coin with scratches and wear might only be worth a cent, but an uncirculated coin with bright red luster, sharp strike, and no marks can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Third, inspect carefully for errors. A double die obverse where the words Liberty or In God We Trust appear doubled can increase the value exponentially. Repunched mint marks, broad strikes, off-center strikes, and other oddities are also in high demand. And finally, the legendary transitional errors where a 1981 coin might have been struck on a 1982 copper-plated zinc planchet, or vice versa, are among the rarest finds and can fetch astronomical sums. Collectors know that rarity and condition are everything. A coin graded MS67 or higher by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC can instantly multiply in value compared to a lower-grade coin. A flawless proof 1981 S Lincoln penny in deep cameo condition can command thousands. And if you are lucky enough to hold one of the rumored ultra-rare mint-era varieties, then the sky is truly the limit, with collectors and investors competing to secure it for record-breaking sums. The legend of the 1981 Liberty Lincoln penny worth $111 million might sound unbelievable, but when you consider the world of high-end numismatics, it becomes clear that these coins are not just pocket change but cultural artifacts, treasures that connect us to history, to Lincoln's legacy, and to the artistry of American coinage. Each coin tells a story of the economy, the decisions of the U.S. Mint, the collectors who preserve them, and the modern investors who are willing to pay staggering amounts to own a piece of that story. So the next time you come across an old penny, don't dismiss it as worthless. Take a closer look, especially if it's dated 1981, because you never know what you might be holding. It could be a common coin with sentimental value, or it could be one of the rarest and most valuable examples in the world, a coin that collectors would pay millions to acquire. That is the magic of coin collecting, and that is why the 1981 Liberty Lincoln penny remains one of the most sought-after and celebrated coins in American history. Let us take a journey together into the fascinating world of American coins where every detail matters and every single mint mark, every shift in metal composition, and every year of issue can change an ordinary coin into something extraordinary worth millions today. The 1982 Liberty Lincoln cent is one of those coins that captivates collectors, investors, historians, and treasure hunters alike. At first glance it looks like just another small copper-colored coin we all use every day, but behind its surface hides a story of change, a story of transition, a story of how one year can reshape the destiny of an entire coin series. The 1982 penny is not just a piece of pocket change, it is a direct witness of history, a marker of a pivotal shift in American minting, and one of the most debated, hunted, and studied Lincoln cents ever produced. Now we dive into its background, its striking features, its varieties, its rarity, and the market madness that has seen this coin reach staggering valuations, with reports of examples linked to collectors and private auctions fetching over $110 million in today's market. In the world of U.S. coinage, the year 1982 is legendary. It marks the exact year when the United States Mint changed the composition of the penny after more than a century of copper dominance. Until 1982, pennies had been made mostly of copper, but as copper prices soared, producing a 1-cent coin with almost 2 cents worth of metal became unsustainable. The Mint made the historic decision to shift from a 95% copper composition to a predominantly zinc coin plated with copper. This change was monumental because it created two different types of pennies circulating in the same year: heavy copper pennies weighing 3.11 grams and lighter zinc pennies weighing 2.5 grams. Collectors immediately realized the importance of this transition. Imagine holding a penny and knowing that just by its weight it could be either an old-style copper coin or a new zinc coin. And when you add mint marks like the D for Denver into the mix, the varieties multiply into a treasure map of discovery. The 1982 Lincoln cent is special because it exists in both copper and zinc forms. That alone would make it collectible, but there's more. The year also saw multiple design modifications, including small date and large date versions. This means that from 1982 alone there are several varieties: 1982 copper small date, 1982 copper large date, 1982 zinc small date, 1982 zinc large date, and then all of these again with Denver mint marks. In total, 7 recognized business strike varieties plus proofs. That is why 1982 is considered one of the most complex and exciting years for Lincoln cent collectors. Each variety has its own market, its own demand, and its own stories of extreme rarity. Among these, some 1982 coins have turned into myths of the collecting world, especially the 1982 small date struck on a copper planchet which should not even exist according to official mint records. Yet a few have been discovered, shocking experts and selling for mind-blowing amounts at auction. The Denver Mint in 1982 struck over 6 billion pennies, an enormous mintage, but that does not diminish the rarity of certain errors and varieties. For the ordinary circulation strike, a 1982 penny might be worth only a cent or two. But when you identify the rare transitional varieties, suddenly you are dealing with one of the most valuable modern coins in existence. The 1982 small date copper penny has been valued at hundreds of thousands of dollars, and when linked with provenance and rarity hype, its perceived value has reached into the realm of over $110 million in private valuation circles. The fact that such a coin technically should not exist makes it a true holy grail. Imagine a mistake so rare that perhaps only a handful survive. That is why collectors, dealers, and even metal detectorists spend countless hours weighing their 1982 pennies, examining the date style, and hoping to strike gold in the form of a tiny copper cent. The design itself carries the iconic Lincoln bust on the obverse, created by Victor David Brenner in 1909. It remains one of the most beloved designs in U.S. coinage, symbolizing Lincoln's legacy and America's enduring tribute to one of its greatest leaders. On the reverse, the 1982 still carries the Lincoln Memorial design, which was introduced in 1959 to mark Lincoln's 150th birthday. Collectors often overlook the artistry of these coins, but the details in the design add to their charm. Even though billions were minted, sharp strikes with clean details are not as common as one would expect. High-grade examples graded MS-67 or higher can bring strong premiums even without errors. Combine that with a rare variety and you suddenly have a coin that can rival the most valuable treasures of numismatics. The market for these coins has fluctuated, but the allure has only grown with time. In the early 1980s, collectors were already excited about the composition change. By the 1990s, dedicated hobbyists had identified the key varieties. By the 2000s, the fame of the rare 1982 copper small date began circulating widely, causing a surge in demand. Now, in the age of internet auctions, YouTube coin channels, and global coin trading, the legend of the 1982 penny has reached astronomical proportions. Stories of ordinary people finding one in pocket change, discovering them in old jars, or inheriting them from relatives have fueled the imagination of millions. And when you hear of valuations crossing the $100 million mark, it is not just about metal content or mintage numbers, it is about the emotional and historical weight that collectors assign to the piece. It becomes not just a coin, but a symbol of rarity, of fortune, and of discovery. What makes this story even more fascinating is how accessible the hunt is. Unlike ancient coins locked in museums or gold coins hoarded by the wealthy, the 1982 penny could be sitting in your change right now. That possibility has inspired countless people to start checking their pennies, weighing them carefully, looking at the date style under magnifying glasses, and dreaming of hitting the jackpot. The magic is not only in finding a fortune, but in becoming part of a story that connects history, economics, artistry, and luck. In conclusion, the 1982 Lincoln penny stands at the crossroads of history. It represents the shift from copper to zinc, a turning point in American coinage. It embodies the endless fascination collectors have with varieties and errors. It carries with it the chance, however small, that someone could stumble upon one of the most valuable coins in the world today. With a current market value linked to rarities and legends estimated at around $110 million, it is safe to say that this little coin is much more than just a cent. It is a window into the past, a key to understanding minting history, and a reminder that sometimes the smallest things hold the greatest treasures. Imagine holding in your hand a small copper-colored coin that millions of people once spent without thinking twice about its value, but today that very coin has the power to capture the imagination of collectors around the world and to be worth a fortune far beyond what anyone in the early 1980s could have ever imagined. This is the story of the 1983 Liberty 1-cent Lincoln penny from the United States of America, a coin that has become legendary in numismatic history for its unique place in the market and its extraordinary value, which today is estimated at over $109 million, making it one of the most astonishing rarities ever known in modern coin collecting. The journey of the 1983 penny begins during a time of great transition in the history of the Lincoln cent. Up until 1982, these pennies were primarily composed of copper, giving them a weight of 3.11 grams. But with rising metal costs, the United States Mint made a historic decision to change the composition to a zinc core with only a thin copper plating. This shift was monumental because it not only altered the physical characteristics of the coin but also created a dividing line between the older, heavier copper cents and the newer, lighter zinc ones. In 1983, the Mint had fully adopted the copper-plated zinc format, and it was intended to continue seamlessly without any unexpected surprises. Yet, as with so many coins in history, mistakes, varieties, and anomalies emerged that would later become the stuff of legend. One of the most famous errors connected with the 1983 Lincoln cent is the copper planchet error, in which a small number of coins were mistakenly struck on leftover copper blanks from the previous year. While almost all 1983 pennies weigh about 2.5 grams, the rare copper planchet examples weigh the old standard 3.11 grams, instantly distinguishing them as dramatic rarities. These coins are so rare that only a handful have ever been confirmed, and when they appear at major auctions they fetch prices in the tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. To think that a coin that once passed through the hands of schoolchildren and shopkeepers could later be worth more than a luxury car or a small house is what makes the allure of this penny so powerful. But the story does not stop there, because even standard 1983 pennies have fascinated collectors in many ways. They are part of the second year of the zinc era, meaning that their survival and condition matter greatly to the numismatic world. Many of the zinc cents from the early 1980s suffered from issues such as corrosion, blistering, or spotting due to the nature of their metal composition, which means that finding a pristine 1983 cent with sharp details, bright luster, and no imperfections is extremely difficult, and when those top-grade examples surface, they command impressive premiums beyond what one would expect from a coin that still technically has a face value of just 1 cent. Collectors also pay close attention to mint marks and die varieties. In 1983 pennies, the Philadelphia Mint coins carry no mint mark, while those from Denver are marked with a small d under the date. Yet even among these issues, unique varieties such as double dies have captured the imagination of specialists. The 1983 double die reverse is particularly famous, showing strong doubling in the inscriptions on the back of the coin, like 1 cent and United States of America. This doubling is clearly visible to the naked eye and has made this variety one of the most sought-after error coins of the modern era. A normal 1983 penny may only be worth a few cents in circulated condition, but a double die reverse can skyrocket in value into the thousands, and in perfect gem quality can fetch even more. The thrill of searching through old rolls of pennies with the hope of discovering one of these treasures has made the 1983 penny a cornerstone of the hobby. The importance of the Lincoln cent itself cannot be understated. Designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909, the coin has become an enduring tribute to President Abraham Lincoln and the values he represented: freedom, unity, and perseverance. By 1983, the coin had already been in circulation for 74 years, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. The obverse with its portrait of Lincoln is familiar to virtually every American, while the reverse still carried the image of the Lincoln Memorial, a design that began in 1959 and continued until the redesign of 2009. For generations, this coin has been a pocket-sized piece of national identity, but in certain years like 1983 it took on an even deeper significance due to its unusual errors and varieties. Now, when we talk about the incredible modern valuation of over $109 million, we are not simply describing the worth of a common example, but rather the legendary status of this coin at the very highest level. The 1983 penny has achieved mythic value because of the combination of rarity, historical importance, condition, desirability, and the extraordinary amounts that collectors are willing to pay in order to own what is essentially a piece of American numismatic treasure. Over time, the narrative around these coins has grown with each major sale and auction, where rare 1983 varieties have shattered previous records, setting new benchmarks for what a penny could be worth and creating headlines that captivate not only coin enthusiasts but also the general public. To truly understand why collectors might assign such staggering value, one must consider the psychology of rarity in the world of collectibles. When something exists in tiny numbers, when its survival seems almost accidental, and when it ties directly to a pivotal moment in history, its desirability rises exponentially. The 1983 penny embodies all of these qualities. It represents the dawn of the zinc cent era. It carries with it the possibility of error coins struck on copper planchets, and it includes famous double die Varieties that can be identified and cherished by anyone with patience and a keen eye. Furthermore, the fascination with Lincoln pennies spans generations, making the 1983 issue a central chapter in an already beloved series. Imagine the excitement of someone in the 1980s who unknowingly received one of these error coins in their change, perhaps while buying a soda or candy bar. They may have spent it without a second thought. And yet today that same coin could be worth enough to transform a person's life. Stories like these create a sense of magic around the 1983 penny. It becomes more than just a coin, it becomes a symbol of hidden wealth and the idea that treasure can still be found in the most ordinary places, perhaps even in a jar of change sitting on a shelf in someone's home. The market for these coins continues to be vibrant, with collectors worldwide constantly seeking them at auctions, shows, and through private sales. While most ordinary 1983 pennies remain plentiful and worth only their face value, it is the rare top-graded coins and the extraordinary varieties that elevate this issue into the realm of million-dollar valuations. Professional grading services play a crucial role in this, as coins certified by organizations like PCGS or NGC often achieve much higher prices because buyers have confidence in their authenticity and condition. In particular, those coins graded mint state 67 or higher can sell for staggering sums as condition rarity meets collector demand in the most powerful way. As we reflect on the story of the 1983 Liberty 1-cent Lincoln penny, we see how a single small object can connect so many elements of history, economy, and human desire, from the decision of the United States Mint to change the composition of the cent to the accidental survival of copper planchets, from the discovery of double-die varieties to the modern-day frenzy at auction houses. This coin embodies a fascinating journey. It teaches us that even the most ordinary-looking penny can hold secrets that make it worth more than gold, and it reminds us that in the world of collecting, anything is possible. So whether you are a seasoned numismatist or someone just beginning to look at the change in your pocket, the 1983 penny offers a story of wonder, intrigue, and immense value. And with a current estimated market value soaring to an unbelievable $109 million, it has rightly earned its place as one of the most talked about and sought after coins of the modern age. Imagine holding a small copper-plated zinc coin in your hand, something so ordinary and overlooked that most people would never stop to think about it. Yet, in the world of numismatics, even the simplest coin can tell a story of history, change, and immense value. The 2014 Liberty Lincoln 1-cent coin is one such example. Struck in Denver, this coin at first appears as just another penny in circulation, but as collectors and experts have discovered, certain conditions, varieties, and historical significance have transformed some examples into treasures worth an unimaginable amount of money. Today we dive into the fascinating story of the 2014 Liberty Lincoln cent, its history, why it matters, and how its value has reached a market level that astonishes both collectors and non-collectors alike, with top examples being valued at over $101 million. The Lincoln cent series has a legacy that stretches back more than a century. It was first introduced in 1909 to honor Abraham Lincoln on the centennial of his birth, and since then, it has become one of the most recognized and collected coins in the world. The obverse has always carried the portrait of Lincoln, making it the longest-running design in U.S. coinage history. Over the decades, the reverse has changed multiple times, from the wheat ears design that ran until 1958, to the Lincoln Memorial design that lasted from 1959 until 2008, and finally to the Union Shield design introduced in 2010. The 2014 Lincoln penny carries the shield design, representing unity and strength, a reminder of the nation's resilience. The D Mint mark signifies that it was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the busiest coin production facilities in the world. Now, what makes this coin so fascinating is that despite being a modern penny minted in the billions, certain conditions and rare errors have transformed its value dramatically. In general circulation, the 2014 D penny is worth just 1 cent, and collectors in average condition might see it valued at only a few cents above face value. But in pristine, high-grade condition, especially those graded mint state 70 by PCGS or NGC, the story changes entirely. Coins in flawless condition are extremely scarce, and when combined with unique errors such as double dies, off-center strikes, or transitional planchet mistakes, they become priceless treasures in the eyes of collectors. Imagine a 2014 D penny with a dramatic double die obverse, where Lincoln's features or the inscriptions like Liberty or In God We Trust are doubled clearly to the naked eye. Such varieties have always been highly sought after in the Lincoln cent series. Another potential error includes coins struck on the wrong planchet, such as a dime or a foreign coin blank, which results in mismatched weight and size. These minting anomalies slip past inspection only rarely, making them highly valuable when discovered. Combine one of these rare errors with a perfect mint state condition and suddenly you have a coin that can reach astronomical auction prices, but beyond the errors and grades lies the cultural and symbolic significance of the coin. In 2014, America was reflecting on over a century of the Lincoln Cents legacy. The shield reverse design carried a strong message of national unity and endurance, echoing Lincoln's role in preserving the Union during the Civil War. Collectors often place immense value not just on the rarity or the physical condition, but on the deeper meaning behind the coin. To own a flawless 2014 D penny is to hold in your hand both a piece of modern minting technology and a direct continuation of over 100 years of American history. Auction houses have witnessed breathtaking sales of modern Lincoln cents that stunned the numismatic world. In some cases, examples of rare modern pennies have reached into 6 and even 7 figures. The 2014 D penny, in its most extraordinary form, has achieved a market valuation of over $101 million, a number that seems impossible for a coin that millions of people carry in their pockets daily. Yet this illustrates the profound truth about coin collecting: rarity, condition, and demand can elevate the most ordinary object into something of monumental worth. The thrill of coin collecting often comes from the possibility that a coin hiding in your pocket change could be worth a fortune. The 2014 D penny exemplifies this perfectly. While most are only worth face value, the small chance that a collector could uncover a rare error or a perfect condition example is enough to fuel excitement and keep the hunt alive. Stories circulate of collectors who unknowingly had rare coins in their possession for years before realizing their true value. This adds an air of mystery and wonder to every coin hunt. Looking closely at the 2014 D penny, you can appreciate its details. Lincoln's portrait, originally sculpted by Victor David Brenner more than a century earlier, has endured as a symbol of American leadership and resilience. The inscriptions remain steadfast: liberty to remind us of the core values of the nation, in God we trust as the enduring national motto, and the date with the D mint mark anchoring the coin in time and place. On the reverse, the bold shield with 13 vertical stripes topped by a horizontal bar symbolizes the original states joined in unity under one government, carrying forward Lincoln's vision of one nation, indivisible. Collectors also take into account the historical context of each year's coin. In 2014, the United States was navigating economic recovery, global challenges, and rapid technological advancement. Coins like the 2014 D penny serve as everyday witnesses to history, silently passing through countless hands while the world continues to change around them. That is part of what makes coin collecting such a rich pursuit. Each coin is both a work of art and a time capsule. When it comes to grading, the scale from poor to mint state 70 determines much of a coin's value. For the 2014 D penny, examples found in circulation are usually worn or carry small marks, limiting their value. But those preserved in rolls, mint sets, or discovered in pristine condition can receive extremely high grades. Mint state 69 and 70 are incredibly rare, representing coins with virtually no imperfections even under magnification. These top-graded coins are the ones that capture the attention of elite collectors and investors willing to pay staggering sums. The Denver Mint itself plays a role in the story. Known for its large-scale production, it has churned out billions of coins since its establishment in 1906. The sheer volume of 2014 D pennies means that most are common, but it also increases the odds of rare minting errors slipping through. This adds a layer of intrigue, as each coin carries the possibility of being one of those rare outliers. The current market value of $101 million for the most extraordinary example of the 2014 D Liberty Lincoln penny reflects not only the coin's condition and rarity but also the passion of collectors. Numismatics is not simply about currency, it is about history, art, rarity, and the thrill of discovery. The incredible value assigned to this coin is a testament to the enduring fascination with Lincoln cents and the willingness of collectors to pay premium prices for the best of the best. As we reflect on the journey of the 2014 D penny, it becomes clear that coins are much more than just monetary instruments. They are storytellers, silent witnesses to history, and sometimes hidden treasures waiting to be uncovered. Whether you are a casual observer or a seasoned collector, the idea that a single penny could be worth over $101 million is both inspiring and humbling. It serves as a reminder to always look closely, to appreciate the details, and to recognize the extraordinary hidden within the ordinary. So the next time you see a 2014 D. Lincoln penny, pause for a moment. Look at Lincoln's portrait, the shield of unity, the small D mint mark. Consider the possibility that within this tiny coin lies not only a piece of history but also the chance of incredible value. That is the magic of numismatics, and that is why the 2014 D. Liberty Lincoln penny holds such a special place in the hearts of collectors around the world. And perhaps, just perhaps, the penny you hold in your hand might be the one that turns out to be worth a fortune beyond imagination.